Ladies and gentlemen, meet the brand new Ford Escape. And this is probably one of the most important cars that Ford will build, because there are 21 other vehicles in this segment that now the Escape is competing with. And coming up in this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about this new car, including something that is incredibly cool. Well, let's start with that right now. At number 10 has to be the fact that, look, I don't fit back here, but there's a secret. The new Escape actually has more rear legroom than a 2019 Chevy Suburban. Why is that? Because of this. Check it out. This seat actually moves 6 inches backwards, making the back seat the biggest in the segment.
So this segment is the largest segment in the industry now. So it's 20% of the industry. So that is what, 2.6 million vehicles.
22 vehicles in this segment.
22 vehicles in the segment, and there's soon to be 30. Right? We've got our own vehicle coming, and then we've got other vehicles that are entering the segment. So when Escape launched back in 2001, there was only 6. So this is the heart of the SUV segment. Everyone leaving cars are coming to this small utility segment.
At number 9, we have the fact that this is a much more, well, let's call it urban car, because mainly urbanites buy this. In fact, mainly urban women buy this. Ford calls it chic, athletic, and sleek. What they don't call it is an off-roader. Now, why is that? Let me ask the guy in charge of Ford's crossovers and SUV. He'll explain.
So this vehicle is really intended for people that are coming out of cars that want something more car-like, something sophisticated, more refined. So they like the versatility that an SUV offers, but they don't need the off-road capability. So it's really targeted for people that want to be able to go and have their adventures, but they don't need to have a rugged off-road vehicle.
So what's going to be the rugged off-road vehicle?
So we've got one more coming. Yeah. So coming soon to a dealership near you. We've got another more off-road variant off this same flexible architecture that's really going to be perfect for those customers that really want to experience an off-road vehicle.
Does Bronco sound like the right word for that one?
So it is. I've been referring to it as Little Buckaroo. Okay. So we'll go with that for now. But that hasn't gained any traction yet.
At number 8 is cargo space. Ford talked to their customers and they said, we want to be able to carry 4 sets of golf clubs in the back of our Escape. So Ford did one better than that. Check it out. Not only can you put 1, 2, 3, 4, but you can actually bring up to 6. 37.5 cubic feet of space at its maximum configuration, which is a lot of space for a small crossover. So if you've got 4 friends and 2 more want to come and play golf with you, you can throw their clubs in as well. At number 7 is the fact that the new Escape is longer, wider, but lower. And why is it lower? Well, like I said, a lot of women buy this car, so they've lowered the belt line, this line right here. And when you lower it, it gives you a better view out the vehicle. But they've also lowered the roof. In fact, while it's about 20 mil wider and longer, the roof is actually lower. And Ford says that even though they've lowered the roof, they've increased the headroom. Well, let's find out. So now I'm sitting in the driver's seat, and I've got the one with the panoramic sunroof, and usually that means that it cuts down on headroom. But if you look, I'm 6'2", and I'm kind of a weird 6'2". My torso is much longer than my legs, and yet, yeah, look at that. I've got plenty of headroom. So yeah, it does feel more spacious. It does feel more airy. At number 6, we have the fact that there will be 4 different engine choices in the new Escape, starting with a 1.5-liter base engine that produces 185 horsepower and 195 pound-foot of torque. And Ford says in the front-wheel drive model, you'll be able to go 400 miles on a single tank. Now there's this 2-liter, which produces 235 horsepower and 280 pound-foot of torque, which means it'll do 0 to 60 according to Ford in 6.5 seconds, which is faster than, well, let me have the guy in charge of this tell you. So why is it better than a CR-V or a RAV4?
So it's got more power, it's more flexible, and better technology. So we've got 4 powertrains, a 1.5 liter EcoBoost that's going to deliver best-in-class fuel economy. We're going to have a 2 liter that's going to be 10% more powerful than the current Escape. 0 to 60, 6.5 seconds faster than an Audi Q3. So a real powerful vehicle if we're looking for that. And then we've got a hybrid coming as well that is going to be no compromises, and it's going to offer fun to drive, which you don't usually hear with a hybrid. So when you're looking for a fun to drive hybrid, you've got Escape, and then coming later this spring, we've got a plug-in hybrid coming. So no one offers that breadth of offerings in all the different customer segments that we're looking at.
At number 5 is this, of course, and this is 2 hybrid models. There's a traditional hybrid and a plug-in hybrid that's coming next spring. Now Ford says the plug-in hybrid is going to target over 30 miles of pure EV range, while this 2.5 liter Atkins cycle traditional hybrid gets in front wheel drive over 550 miles of range on a single tank. But what makes this cool is this right here, this liquid cooled lithium ion battery. Let me show you. Now, if you recall, the Escape was one of the first hybrids out there, and this is the battery out of the very first Escape hybrid. And as you can tell, it's huge and it's air-cooled. Now, the second generation battery got a little bit smaller. Once again, this is a 2010 hybrid, huge and air-cooled. Means it takes up a lot of space and adds a lot of weight to the vehicle. Here is the third generation, 2013. Once again, huge, takes up a lot of space, and air-cooled. Now there's this 1.1 kilowatt hour liquid cooled battery, which does 2 things. First of all, it's small, so it doesn't take up a lot of room, and since it's liquid cooled, it makes the vehicle much more efficient. At number 4, we have the fact that this is no longer a very driver-centric dashboard. In fact, Ford says it's made it much more open, giving you a lot of storage cubbies. And the way they've done that is by switching to this electronic shifter. And one of the things that they're very proud of is that you can now fit a standard laptop into the glove box. So shall we give it a try?
Yep.
Let's give it a try. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe a smaller Apple would fit in there, but this Dell doesn't quite fit. We have worked our way down to number 3, and that is all Ford Escapes, that's all-wheel drive and front-wheel drive, come with 5 different drive modes. By pushing this button down here, I can change from normal to eco, of course saving fuel, to sport, which changes the point to which it revs, slippery, probably puts it in second gear, and deep snow and sand, helping you get out of sticky situations. You know, the rub for me with the Escape has always been kind of the materials, and Ford seems to always do a little bit of cost cutting when it comes to that. So here we have this kind of funky star-like material, and this is something interesting. If you push this, it's actually soft. It's pretty cool, pretty soft, but check this out. Back here, same star-like material, except it's hard. So there's still a little bit of cost cutting that I think people will notice, especially now that I've pointed it out. We interrupt this countdown with a classic TFL Good, Bad, and Weird, so let's get right to it. At Good, we have the fact that this Ford Escape does not have a classic heads-up display that gets projected onto the windscreen. In fact, it gets projected onto this little screen right here. Why is that good? Because when I put on my polarized sunglasses, I can still see how fast I'm going. How cool is that? Now, bad. I'm not in love with the steering wheel. First and foremost, even though this is leather, it doesn't feel like it. And then you have, I believe, 16 buttons with about 20 different functions. They're very small, they're very finicky, and they're very confusing, at least for me. And the weird, right here, look at these little numbers to tell you your temperature. This looks like something out of a 1990s Casio display. And number 1 has got to be towing. In fact, the 2-liter big boy engine Escape will tow up to 3,500 pounds. And for the first time ever, because of that new battery that's, remember, liquid cooled, the hybrids will now tow up to 1,500 pounds. So while this may have more rear legroom than a Chevy Suburban, it certainly doesn't tow like one. So I'm here in Louisville, Kentucky, because this is where the new Ford Escape is built. Now it starts at about $24,000 for the front wheel drive with the 1.5 liter. If you get the titanium 2 liter, you're going to be up at about $34,000. And if you want to start with this hybrid, it'll start at about $28,000. And it'll be available at your local Ford dealership starting at the end of the month. As always, this is Roman saying thanks for watching. And remember, come back when we actually do a full driving review of this hybrid when the embargo expires next week. See you guys next time. Ciao.